self-employed basically 30 years of my life. I'm running for this because I'm tired of government at all levels interfering in our lives. We have a choice to make. We have a choice to make here today and on May 4th. We have a choice of whether we're going to stay with the status quo and go the way it always has gone, or whether we're going to do something about it. Doing something about it doesn't have anything to do with how much money one raises for a campaign, doesn't have anything to do with how long they've held in office, doesn't have anything to do with how much money they spend on a campaign, has to do with, are they made of something? Are they made of steel? Are they going to back up what they say? Are they going to do what's right? People say here in Ohio, something as detrimental to my campaign is to say I'm a Michigan fan. How do I know that? There's a guy right here sitting here with a Ohio State shirt on. In the big picture of things, me being a Michigan fan is really unimportant. But if I'm going to stand here and tell you I am a Michigan fan here in Ohio, you know that I'm made of something. You know that I won't back down when time gets rough, as it has been for Michigan a number of years now, although I don't like the coach currently, but that's another matter. We'll discuss that later. But you need to decide. Currently here in this country, 51% of the working people in America are employed by the government, which means that 49% of the working people in America are supporting the other 51. And that 49 makes an average of $30,000 a year less than they do. I don't care how you want to slice it, dice it, twist it, or spin it. That is a path towards socialism. You know, if you want to live in a country like that, that's fine. There's plenty of them around the world to go to. Pick one, leave. Don't stay here. I don't want it that way here. I like my country this way. I like it free. I like us to be able to have decisions to decide on our own. I like us to be able to have the freedom to solve our own problems in a manner we see best to solve them in. Not in some way that Columbus or Washington tell us we must, because they think that they know better than we do. They don't even know us. So that's why we need people that are made of something, people that are going to get something done. I have a school plan that will revamp everything, all the way schools exist today. One of the first things I do is cut your property taxes by about 70 to 80%. The next thing I do with my school plan is give you a choice of where you want to send your children to school. And then the homeschool folks, I see there's a few of those here, you get $1,500 for teaching your kids at home. I don't know anybody that's going to disagree with any one of those points. Property is a very important matter, an important thing here in this country. There's a reason why the United States of America at one time paid their soldiers with property. Because that's the only solvent thing that a person can own. When you spend 25 to 30 years of your life working very hard, without any bailouts from anybody, to work on to keep your property, and then the government comes along and tells you at the end of your mortgage after you pay the bank off that you don't really own anything by way of property because we own it by way of property tax and have a forever permanent lien on it. That is wrong. My opponent thinks it's okay. My opponent thinks it's also okay that she's never been in the private sector ever and worked her entire life as a government employee. We need people that know what you and I deal with every day in Columbus and in Washington, so that we can actually get something done, so we can get government out of our way, so that we can fix our problems ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to come here and speak before this group. It's a great opportunity for me to tell you about myself and for you to get to know me a little better. Many of you know me. You've seen me around in different organizations, but just to give the ones that don't know me a little background, I was born and raised in Fredericktown area. Well, I was born in Knox County and raised in the Fredericktown area. The family farm that my parents still live on is the one that I was raised on, and I'm a graduate of Fredericktown High School. And my opponent mentioned the fact that I do have public service as my background. I started to work in the Mount Vernon City Auditor's Office in 1974. The auditor decided to retire in 1983. So I was then appointed the Mount Vernon City Auditor. I held that position for 11 years. And then there was an opening for the Knox County Auditor's Office. In 1994, I ran for that position and was successful. So I was your Knox County Auditor for 13 years. I held that position until Tom Collier had the state representative job. He was term limited in 2008, so I ran for that position, and I was successful 2 years ago in getting elected 2 years to be your state representative. That's part of that's my bio, that's what my life has been like. My opponent says I've never worked in the private sector. Well, that's not exactly true because, like I said, I was raised on a family farm, and I was a worker on the family farm. I did not make any money, that's true. My parents made all the money, but I worked for my lunch and my dinner. So I know how to work hard on the family farm, and like I said, it's still a family farm, and it will continue to be a family farm because farming is very important to me. It's one of the committees that I have to sit on in the state. I'm on the Agriculture and Natural Resource Committee. I'm on the Aging and Disability Committee, which is very dear to me also. As I mentioned, my parents are still alive. My mom just had a birthday this week, and she turned 92. And my dad, he's 90, and he's World War II veteran, and we are going to try and get him signed up to take the honor flight that is being promoted out here. So I'm very proud of the fact that he is an Army veteran. So I am very proud of that. I also am on the local government and public administration, which fits very well with me since I do have the auditor position as my background, and the last one that I'm on is the transportation and infrastructure, which is very important to me also. Our roads are very, very important. One issue that I'm fighting very hard on is the I-71 corridor. As you know, through my district is the only place that's north of Columbus that is only 4 lanes. The rest of the way is 6 lanes. In 1998, there's a program out there that ODOT put out a plan that they were going to make it 6 lanes from Columbus to Cleveland within a 10-year frame. Well, that was never done. And I brought it to their attention that it was not done, and it should be done, and it should be a priority. And if you haven't sent a letter and you think it's a priority, you need to send a letter to ODOT stressing the priority that this needs. I think it's very important for the economy around here. It's something that they promised to do, and I think they should follow through on their promises. I myself try to do that, and I expect them to do the same thing. Also, it creates jobs, and that's very important around here also. So, getting people back to work is one of my priorities. If you get people back to work, there's some legislation over there in Columbus that we could get back in the majority in the House. I think we could get some of these pieces to move that would help the economy. And I can maybe discuss them a little bit later. The other thing that is very important to me is the Livestock Care Board. We did get that up and running, and I believe all the appointments have been made, except I haven't heard whether the speaker's made his appointment yet. My understanding was he was supposed to make it this week. So with that, I guess I've told you all I can about me, and I'm anxious for you guys to ask your questions, and I think when you get